Today, over 2,000 protests were planned across the country, including over a dozen here in the Natural State. It was the second nationwide No Kings protest. In Rogers, hundreds came out to Promenade Boulevard carrying signs, wearing costumes, and yelling chants as cars honked. The rallies protest policies and political moves made by the Trump administration. Organizers say it's not about political parties.
We love America and we want to help it be better than where we are right now. We don't need the kings, and that's why we're here. We need to stop tyranny and reclaim the power of democracy.
Organizers say over 2,000 people attended the Rogers rally. Fort Smith held a No Kings rally at 4:30, and Fayetteville saw a protest right in front of the Washington County Courthouse. Organizers say the massive nationwide protests were intended to defend First Amendment rights and fight for democracy. The protests also happened in some cities in Europe. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson called the protests, quote, a hate America rally. Organizers say the protests were peaceful. Celebrity scientist Bill Nye took part in the rally in Washington, D.C.
Rather than doing one monarch's bidding, we have agreed to form a democracy, to work together, and to follow the laws that derive from it. No thrones, no crowns, no kings.
Virginia's governor activated the National Guard and announced a substantially increased police presence ahead of the state's No Kings rallies. There was no violence reported at any of the Virginia rallies. Tonight, we're seeing dashcam video of a high-speed chase through Fayetteville that ended in a crash and the arrest of a man state police say was behind the wheel. We told you about the arrest of 23-year-old Dustin Paulman October 4th. Investigators say the vehicle was stolen. Today, 5 News reporter Claire Everbach spoke with the family who owns that car.
The crash happened at the intersection of Sang Avenue and Berry Street. We're going to show you some of this dash cam footage. Just moments after this, a passenger was thrown from the vehicle and Paulman ran off on foot before he was caught. Thomas Bradford says the car was stolen from his mother Ellen and his brother Michael on September 22nd.
We found out the next day that the vehicle was missing. We called the police and we had them do a report, and then about 4 days later, the car was discovered.
The car was recovered days later, but shortly after that, Thomas says it was stolen again, this time involved in a chase that ended in a violent crash.
2 days later, the same people who stole the car the first time came back around and took it again. And this time, it was discovered upside down in the middle of the street after a high-speed chase.
Now, Ellen and Michael are without transportation, with no insurance coverage to replace the stolen car.
Another problem, another thing to deal with in life, and something that we have to overcome ourselves, because I knew that we only had the state minimum liability insurance. We paid cash for the car, and we knew now that we had lost it, and there was nothing else that we could do about it.
Despite the loss, they are turning to the community for help.
We're just trying to find a mode of transportation that has an air conditioner for her in the summer and a heater, and that is reliable and starts. Sometimes you just want to get out of the house, you know, and be normal. And it's just difficult to do. And it's put a big burden on us. And when we spent a lot of money on this car, is what we saved up for, and now that's gone.
A fundraiser has been created to support the Bradford family purchasing a new car. You can find the link on 5newsonline.com. State police say both Paulman and the passenger were taken to the hospital, and the passenger sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The Fayetteville Police Department says Paulman was transported to the Washington County Detention Center, where he has been charged with felony fleeing, kidnapping, theft by receiving, and first-degree battery. Claire Everbach, 5 News.
In Leflore County, a suspect was injured after exchanging gunfire with police executing a warrant for the suspect's arrest. This happened today at a home on Tackett Road near Bacoshi and Panama. Police say the suspect made contact with 3 officers before running off on foot. Police then chased the suspect and revealed a weapon before the gunfight ensued. The suspect was then shot and taken to a nearby hospital. Police say no injuries were reported. An investigation continues after a dozen state employees are either on leave or out of a job after a young disabled man died in their custody. The incident happened last month at Southeast Human Development Center. Carter Thweet went down to Warren to learn more details.
Here at the Southeast Arkansas Human Development Center is where a resident died on September 7th after staff used physical and chemical restraints. Now, one employee has been fired, 11 others have been placed on leave. Warren Mayor Greg Reap says it all comes as a shock.
Our community's always been very proud to have it here because of the people they're serving. And yes, it's a big employer.
That's what Warren Mayor Greg Reap says about the facility. While it's run by the state, not the city, he says he's out there from time to time and has only heard good things.
99% of the families I've ever talked to are very supportive of the Human Development Centers because of what they can do for their loved one, how they care for them.
But now this facility, one of 5 in Arkansas, rocked by a tragic death. A report released by DHS Friday morning details an incident in which a resident was restrained in a face-down position for 13 minutes. He stopped moving shortly after.
So sympathetic toward the family of whoever the individual was that passed away, and also make sure that all the facts get determined and the right actions be taken.
According to the report, the whole thing started when the resident attempted to bite a nursing assistant's neck. The report details several ways the process was poorly handled, like the unsafe restraint and a chemical injection that investigators said was unnecessary. In a statement released by Arkansas DHS, they said an investigation is ongoing, and this will likely lead to changes at all 5 of these facilities.
This situation should be properly investigated by DHS or whomever needs to look into it, and of course any corrective action should be taken.
That was Carter Thweet reporting. We've also learned an Arkansas woman is suing state police after they allegedly held her and her child at gunpoint at a gas station. This incident happened back in July 2024 at the Casey's General Store on Weddington Drive in Fayetteville. Court documents say Peyton Malia was with her 4-year-old child when 4 troopers arrived at the gas station with their lights on and weapons drawn. Malia was forced to get down on the ground and was handcuffed. She was then let go after troopers determined she was not the person they were looking for. She's suing on a 4th Amendment violation, which protects against unreasonable searches. The lawsuit says she and her child were fearful for their lives and the troopers' actions were excessive. You can read more details on this on our website, 5newsonline.com.